I work in an organisation called the Accountability Lab, which I founded about a year and a half ago, and I'm the executive director. Well, the Accountability Lab acts as an incubator for creative tools for accountability. So what we're doing is identifying what we call accountpreneurs, or people with creative entrepreneurial approaches to accountability, and identifying them on the ground and then helping them catalyse and develop their ideas to make them sustainable and useful over time. I'd like to tell you about a project in Liberia called the Daily Talk. It's run by an accountpreneur that we found called Alfred Sirleaf, and he's a citizen journalist. During the war in Liberia, there was no media, there was no way of getting information about what was happening. And Alfred decided to set up a chalk billboard at an intersection in Monrovia, the capital city, and curated news that he heard on the radio and from people, and disseminated it through this chalk billboard in a very low-cost way, in a language that people understood, and with pictures for those that couldn't read. He was at a moment where he had no money at all. He's been doing this essentially for free for 10 years. I wanted to try and create an organisation that could help them do that, that was really driven by the people who suffer from these issues. So we've helped him build out that billboard, build other billboards in other places around Monrovia, and not only provide news to people on a daily basis, but also civic education information about issues that they care about. So we've talked to hundreds of Liberians and asked them, what information do you actually want to know about what the government is doing and what it should do for you? And we'll put it up on the billboard in a way that you understand. We started with how to use traffic lights, which was one issue that people really cared about. There were lots of new traffic lights in Monrovia, and there was no public sensitisation campaign. No one knew how to use them. So we started with that. We moved on to road signs. We've done how to register a business, how to get a passport, and we're now coordinating it with the government to make sure that it's providing information that citizens need and that the government wants to put out to them. We've crowdfunded money to do this, which fits with our philosophy of involving lots of people in collective solutions rather than relying on large sources of external money. And we've had lots of citizens coming to us and saying, we love the Daily Talk, this is essential for us. You know, we can't afford the 40 Liberian dollars, or about 50 US cents, to buy a newspaper every day, so this is where we get our information. And that's what participation is all about. That's what helping people absorb information and discuss that information and think about how it affects their lives is all about. And if that's something that we can help to happen, then I think that's fantastic. The passion behind the Accountability Lab is that too often I see people frustrated with their inability to get the information and services that they need from government. And what we're trying to do is change mindsets over time, because I think ultimately that's the only way collectively that the society can move towards more accountable decision making, and move the question from not what do we need, but what can we do to help people take personal agency and push for the change that they want to see, rather than waiting for someone else to do it. For me, being able to try and help that process happen is also hugely empowering. I think if Alfred was here, he would say that he wants the Daily Talk to grow as much as it can and help citizens in every possible way. And the role for us as the lab is really to catalyse that, if we can, in a way that he wants, and in a way that's useful. That's the idea. It's an equal partnership, but with Liberians like Alfred, who are creative, who are innovative, and who want to change their societies. And I hope that in a few years from now, this will be something that will exist in its current form, but also in other forms that make it relevant and make it exciting and make it something that Liberians want to use, and that helps change their lives in positive ways.